Oh, hello there, everyone. Welcome back to Shiki. Today we're going to check out BTS is the best. In brackets, not just in my opinion, meaning we're going to hit them with the facts.
I became a fan of BTS in 2019. I knew
Hope you're
about
doing good,
them a
Bora.
couple of years before, but I never really gave them a chance because I was not really into pop music. But when they released Boy With Love in 2019, I perceived some kind of counterculture image that really caught my attention. Of course, the most visible and shocking factors were their image, their performance, and their use of visual concepts. So I also got interested in K-pop as a whole because K-pop prioritizes these factors too. I researched a lot. I listened to hundreds of songs, and I still remember every big group and song from 2019, as well as the most popular K-pop songs ever. However, the more I discovered, the more I got bored of K-pop. So although I wanted to get deeply involved with K-pop in 2019, with time I only stayed with BTS and my usual rock and metal bands.
Okay, so you see, this is like 2019. These are like the BTS songs. And some like Slipknot and stuff like that, and then here you got, it's a lot more BTS songs, as you can see. You know what? I'll be honest. I've never like gotten into like K-pop in general, like that. Never. I've heard songs here and there before, maybe like a decade ago or something, but BTS are unique. Like the way they captured me, it's just like you said, the performances, just how much effort they put into their dances. Just how talented they are to sing in different languages. The music videos, they have a story. Everything is just like you can't, once you get into BTS, I feel like it's impossible.
This is only my personal experience, and I can name you a million reasons why I believe BTS is the best. Not just my favorite, not just the most popular, but the best.
They are the best.
There is a popular conversation I see in every music fandom. Your favorite artist is not necessarily going to be the best artist. So if someone says that their favorite artist is XYZ, they are not necessarily arguing that this artist is the best. They are just saying that XYZ is their favorite. But I've noticed that in K-pop, this notion is not always present. To the contrary, many use favorite and best interchangeably. And I somehow came to the conclusion that this is because of BTS. Let me explain. K-pop is and has always been a niche industry. Not only it is niche because it has not truly entered the mainstream music industry. K-pop is also niche because almost every single group is created in a similar way, with performers that have the same range of skills, and that all target one specific audience. So in an industry where every group is so similar in concept to each other, wouldn't it make sense for the most unique group to eventually become the most popular one? My answer is of course yes. The most popular group coming from the K-pop industry is undoubtedly the most unique group. I would even go as far as to say that they are the best group. I know this is a big statement because
we can just end the video. We can just end the video right here. I'm just kidding. What you're saying is true. It's true. Like, they're not just following. To me, it's always like they're breaking limits. They're literally going into uncharted land in a lot of these things. They're always pushing themselves to new heights and doing so while being so sincere about it. It's just like one of the reasons why I think there's never going to be another BTS, like literally, because whether you like it or not, BTS has grown so big. They have become what they are, so that no matter who follows, they're always going to, in one way or another, always going to be in the shadow of BTS. Not saying that they won't win prizes or they won't do good. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying as like, it's, in my opinion, practically in our lifetime at least, I think it's impossible to get out of BTS's shadow, because the shadow they've cast is just too grand. It's just
this phrase is ultimately the root of pretty much every big K-pop conversation. Whether this is argued by K-pop fans on social media, music critics on magazine articles, entertainment experts in South Korea, or even politicians in South Korea, the discussion about BTS being not only the most popular, but the best is so prevalent in pop culture. But why is this the conversation? BTS is the best at what? At everything? That sounds kind of crazy, but that is ultimately where every conversation goes, and I think there's a reason behind that. Back to my personal experience. It may be harsh to say that BTS ruined every other K-pop or Western group for me, but that's kind of what happened. Performance after performance, album after album, music video after music video.
100%.
BTS proved to me, personally, that they have the best stage presence, the best composers, the best rap line, the best vocal line, the best dancers, the best music, that they are the most effective at transcending music genres and concepts, and even that they have the best story in the industry. These are, of course, just opinions.
You know what? I'm gonna slap a fact on that. I mean, come on. Like, the story, everything you said is just facts. Like, I can't, you say it's your opinion, but generally speaking, like, I understand where you're coming from, and you do have to, like, say in your opinion. I understand. But generally, they've done the same thing to me. Like, it's just, not that I was, like, checking out, but, like, they've done, like, I wasn't checking out, like, other groups or anything. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like, it's just they've changed how I look at the music industry, to begin with. And I don't know, it's just like, I feel like even people who leave now, because there are some people who, quote unquote, move on from BTS, and you're just trying to scratch that itch with someone else, and while it might scratch a little bit, it will never fully do that. Like, I am 100% serious when I believe that. I'm not saying it's not possible, but what I'm saying is that when people leave during these times, and they switch to another group, I think it's because they want that, I don't know, just that feeling that BTS gave them. They want that from
opinions that I realized I shared with millions of people. But the simple act of expressing this opinion can be seen as controversial or too self-centered or too uninformed in K-pop spaces. It must be that I don't know enough K-pop groups, or that I have not listened to the right small independent group from an unknown company, or that I'm too far gone in the BTS rabbit hole that I refuse to see how good every other group is. This train of thought is not exclusive to K-pop or pop. I've seen it closely in rock and metal fandoms, and I've also noticed it in many other genres of music or entertainment in general. Niche is unique, mainstream is basic. I know that admitting my favorite group is the most popular group is seen as boring, basic, like I only know the surface. And I get this to some point. BTS are the only ones in K-pop who have reached the level of mainstream, so a lot of their listeners really do only know the surface of K-pop. But my point is that BTS being the most popular doesn't take away from them being the best. In this
exactly, because they weren't like spoon-fed. They didn't get anything like that. Like, guys, you gotta understand the story. Like, you gotta understand where they came from, how they reached these levels. It's literally almost like a rags to riches story. Like, it is so inspirational to see and to check that out. Like, I feel like you're doing such an injustice if you just like brush BTS as just mainstream, or they're just mainstream. You gotta understand how difficult it is to become mainstream in the first place, and doing it from where they came from.
Specific case, I argue the complete opposite. BTS did not have the power to have an automatic successful debut. They did not have a super planned, effective marketing strategy. They did not have the budget to have high quality music videos, but they still surpassed every other artist in the industry because they are genuinely the best.
That's a great segment, for real. I totally agree. Like, you cannot brush BTS under these other people. And another reason why I'm saying that people are going to be stuck in BTS's shadow, no matter whether they like it or not. They have paved the way into mainstream music as well. So for those coming after, I'm not saying it's going to be like easy like this, but like, they opened the door and they literally paved the way. They don't have to make their own way. The way has already been made. That's why we got maps in the first place. Someone went to those places and mapped it all out for us, and now we use it. You still have to read the map, but who made it in the first place?
So why is the conversation always about BTS being the best in general? Why isn't the conversation about BTS being the best at singing, or the best at rap, or the best at dancing, or composing? I have a theory, and please don't get offended because there is nothing inherently wrong with what I'm about to say. But most K-pop groups don't go out of the box artistically because all of their artistic factors are given or instructed to them by their labels. In other words,
Fact.
the message of their music, the concepts of their performances, the exploration of their talents, and even the overall success of K-pop groups depend on their labels. The idols or performers can be very hardworking. They can practice their choreographies to perfection, but the general public won't become loyal fans of an amazing choreography to a mediocre song with average vocals at best. Not in the same industry where BTS exists. You may also
Let me give this example. Sorry, Bora, to cut you off. Think about it like this, right? If you have two people, and you give them different instructions. You give the first one a pamphlet, whatever it is, of instructions on how to build the table. Okay, you give them the tools. You give them the instructions. Go ahead, do it. All right, and then the second person, you just tell them, here's a bunch of trees, here's a bunch of things, there's no instructions. Try your best, do what you gotta do. Obviously, this is like kind of an extreme example, but what I'm trying to say is the one with the tools and the instructions will be able to create a table at the end of the day, but there's not gonna be anything super special about it, because it's limited by what they've been given from the very start. BTS, however, or this other person, has so much potential to let their creativity come up with something insane, because once again, they're not limited. They did not get something handed to them and be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, that sort of thing. I think that's a good example, but then it might also not be a good example. So let's just play the video.
also ask, what about the outliers? What about those groups with a good start of an artistic identity? Or the groups with extraordinary choreographies? Or the groups with amazing vocalists? Again, zero disrespect to these artists, because it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but they often lack many other factors that can make them reach the artistic level of BTS. Instead, if they focus on the one thing they are the best at, target the right audiences, and find the right sound for their voices, they would most probably succeed in other industries. But in the K-pop and mainstream pop industries, the leading group is the multi-talented BTS, and labels just want to create another BTS, another multi-talented group, and that has failed hundreds of times because BTS is too good at being the best. The result is K-pop idols doing unbelievable choreographies to songs that are hard on the ears, amazing vocalists doing basic choreographies, or even being forced to lip sync. And
because you can't balance it. That's why, I said this in a video that I recorded that I probably haven't posted yet. I was like, look, what oh yeah, it was in the top 10 top 12 hardest BTS choreos. They've put so much effort, and they can do all these different parts so freaking good that, it's not like they're sacrificing one thing for the other. They're not sacrificing the dancing for the singing. They're not sacrificing the singing for the rapping. They literally go all in. How?
pretty faces having no other choice but to rap because they cannot sing. Some dancers are not good singers. Some singers are not good dancers. Not every pretty face belongs to the stage. And all of this is okay. Just give these groups pleasant music people can actually listen to. Allow them to grow as artists and target the right audiences, because BTS's audience is too used to seeing all of these talents together. So K-pop groups feel very mediocre in comparison. You wouldn't ask Adele to dance because she doesn't dance. Dancing would cheap her performance. Actually, not dancing allows her to make people view her in another category than multi-talented artists like Beyoncé would be. People don't really compare Adele and Beyoncé because they are very different kinds of artists. So
True.
Why do you keep setting your groups up for failure? BTS.
Wow, what a point. I see you're cooking right now, Bora. Let Bora cook. It's like one of those slow cookers right now. My God. That is so true. Why are you immediately when you compare them to BTS, or that's the goal you give them, you're already setting yourself up for failure, because once again, you're directing them and not allowing them, putting extra pressure. Just let these artists do what they can. Find a way to be unique. That Adele and Beyonce example is great. I can never imagine Adele, dancing. But what you can imagine is some incredible vocals, because that's what she's good at. And, you just gotta like play to your strengths. Play to your strengths, and then find your own, like make your own. Try hard, that sort of thing. Instead of always trying to
Are the best artists in an industry that proclaims to celebrate multi-talented artists. Yet this same industry was unable or too lazy to try creating the perfect group until BTS happened. One can argue that groups like BTS cannot be fabricated because the lack of fabrication was what made BTS become BTS. They
boom. So true!
Became good at showcasing all of these talents together while at the same time being individually excellent at their own thing. They got to this point because they wanted to succeed so bad that they had no other choice than grow and grow artistically very fast. In their first year and with almost no opportunities in the industry, they were already outperforming the biggest K-pop groups in the industry. And by outperforming, I don't mean numbers, of course. I mean that they actually performed better. People eventually noticed this, and this motivated BTS to grow beyond K-pop concepts. By their third year, BTS was getting the attention of audiences the K-pop industry thought would never listen. By their fifth year, BTS began their journey of becoming a supergroup, which is a group formed of amazing soloists. By their seventh year, they were already the biggest group in the music industry, targeting global audiences, composing very different genres of music, and even perfecting their identities as solo artists were things that came natural to them. They did not do what was given.
The duality that we're seeing here.
Identities as solo artists were things that came natural to them. They did not do what was given to them because they were not given a lot. So yes, BTS worked harder and more creatively. And more importantly, they never stopped growing. In an interview, Suga of BTS talked about the multiple analyses being done about their success. But what he noticed, and what I've also noticed in many of these analyses, is the theory that BTS is the biggest group because they are simply the best. They have practiced and have grown artistically so much that no matter what kind of event, festival, award show, or TV show they are performing at, they know for a fact that they will be the best.
우리에 대한 이 분석이 정말 많았거든요. 방탄소년단 어떻게 잘 됐을까, BTS는 어떻게 잘 됐을까. 무대 보시면 아시겠지만 잘해요. 정말 연습도 남들의 몇 배는 했다고 생각을 하고 지금도 마찬가지로 그렇게 하고 있고요. 무대에 올라갔을 때 우리가 제일 잘한다고 생각을 했어요. 물론 이게 스포츠는 아니지만 우리랑 무대 대 무대로 붙여봤을 때 질 것 같다는 생각이 한 번도 든 적이 그만큼 준비를 많이 했고 사실 저희가 처음부터 잘 된 건 아니었어가지고 정말 별의별 상황들을 다 겪어봤어요. 그러다 보니까 대처할 수 있는 경험도 많았었고 그로 인해가지고 무대에서 더더욱 좀 멋있게 할 수 있지 않았을까. 여러 가지 경우의 수들을 다 경험해봤기 때문에 그 경험이 제 자신감의 근원이지 않나 생각이 듭니다.
Guys, he's not speaking as someone that was handed everything on a silver platter. He's speaking as someone that literally was in an accident, couldn't talk about it. All the different things that he's experienced in his career, the personal issues, the injuries, the being afraid of not making it, like everyone just putting everything they have into this. Like, you cannot fabricate those circumstances. You literally cannot create these, because I feel like a lot of groups, no disrespect, I'm not gonna mention anyone, but I'm not saying they don't work hard. I'm not saying they don't go through things. I would never make such an ignorant claim. But what I'm trying to say is BTS had their backs against the wall from day one. Like, they had nothing in terms of agency wise, in terms of money, nothing. Like, they were literally bottom of the barrel, and they literally clawed their way out, and now they got wings and they're soaring in the sky. Like, you cannot replicate that. Like, that's one of the things. For example, let's say I make a pie. Okay, you got the I give you the recipe, you can create it. But if I make a pie out of something entirely different and no one knows how, like, you can't, like, you can try as much as you want, but, like, you know how they say insanity is like trying the same thing, like with the same results. Like that quote probably ruined it. But like my point is, like, these people need to stop trying to replicate BTS. I understand, but like you just can't. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter which group you tell me, which name you tell me. I don't care if you call me entitled or not. Like, you cannot find anyone with the same circumstances as BTS and growing this the way that they did, and just them as people, and their talents, and unseen.
I hope this video can explain my anecdote from the introduction. It's easy to say that I only think BTS is the best because I don't know many K-pop groups. I receive those comments all the time. But I actually believe I consider BTS as the best because I know all of these K-pop groups as well as Western boy bands. I know their go-to dance moves, personalities, and repetitive concepts. I notice how frequently they don't sing live, and I notice their lack of worry about their actual art. Of course, I'm not saying that they are not talented or hardworking. There's a lot of talented performers with all the abilities to grow artistically. But again, don't make Adele dance. She doesn't need Beyonce's audience. The best at being BTS are BTS, and it's inevitable for the rest of K-pop groups to appear mediocre in comparison. In the meantime, I'll continue affirming BTS is the best because I believe they are. Yes, it's an opinion, but it shouldn't be a controversial one.
The best. I share the same things as you. I think they are the best for many reasons, and you cannot deny that, genuinely. You know what? One of the go-to things people are gonna say is that you haven't done your research, blah blah blah. But like, that's like, and then when you say things like this, they will come at you and call you entitled and cocky and arrogant, and which is just not true. If you compare yourself, if you compare your favorites to BTS, like, obviously I can call you the same thing. I can call you cocky and arrogant and entitled for doing that. It's not like I am gonna stand here and look. I have done nothing in terms of success. I'm just a fan. I'm that's all I am. But if you can't show greatness and appreciate greatness, which is BTS and what they've done for everyone in the K-pop industry, then honestly, I have no words. It's just not worth even trying. Because look, BTS always pays their dues. Whoever's helped them along the way, whoever's been there for them, whatever they have, whoever they work with, they're always like being such humble people, giving their props and dues. But it seems like some people just can't. Look, it is not a controversial opinion. BTS is the best, and it happened through extremely special circumstances, and just like I'm telling you, not even Hype, not even Bang PD had an idea of what he had on his hands when he got these 7 together. It's just like you can't predict the things like this. It's just not possible. Regardless, I'm happy that I live in a time where I can say this as it's happening. You guys, maybe you're enjoying the silence, but it won't be silent for too long. Jin is coming back, and then J-Hope, and then the entire group will be reunited not too long from now. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bora, once again, thank you so much for this video. You always bring up very interesting conversations, and you make great points, in my opinion. The Adele Beyonce example was perfect. I don't know why they just... What can we do? But regardless, thank you so much. Take care, stay safe, and yeah, bye-bye.